Woo! All right, welcome. Welcome everybody to the Cardboard Challenge. My name is Justin.
And my name is Dorian.
Man, and we are coming at you live from the NuMinds office. This has been so awesome. So if you're just joining in, just tuning in, check this out. Over the past couple of weeks, actually, no, that's not true. That's not true because we were supposed to do this, and then we had a huge ice storm in Texas.
Right.
So over the past couple months, you guys have been submitting all of your stuff for the Every Beautiful Creation, the School of the Future Cardboard Challenge. And so the team here at NuMinds has been so grateful and so happy that the Gifted Education Foundation Network had a chance to bring us in and sponsor and do a cardboard challenge across the state of Texas. Man, Dorian, anything else you want to say?
First of all, I just want to say we are NuMinds in Richmond. Our awesome job is to bring you all sorts of programs across the place, just like this one, for all sorts of students and anyone in need.
Man, it's so fun. It allows us to create stuff like this, like the Cardboard Challenge.
Right.
And then doing the Cardboard Challenge, we can actually share this with teachers across the globe.
Right. It's a lot of fun to do, and it's a great place to work.
Okay, and as you can tell, we're surrounded by cool stuff, even things that have been remade and repurposed. I'm going to kick off real fast and share this one. This has been a creation that I made. I hope you guys like it. Can you see what it is? I said, if you're there watching, you know what it is. Blow up the chat. Let's see. We've got the chat here so we can monitor. And again, while we're kind of waiting to get started, let me also say, once again, a huge thank you to the Gifted Education Foundation Network. Now, what they do is here in Texas, they actually bring parents and families together. And their whole big purpose and their big drive is about bringing this excellence and equity within gifted education, which is just amazing because Dorian, what they're able to do is they can connect families like in ways that have never been done before.
Right.
And they can share like information like these kind of programs. They can share key speakers. In fact, today even, there's a live conference happening out of Baylor University.
That's awesome.
I know, all put together with Baylor and GEFN, and so it's just so proud to be part of that team. It's really cool.
It's a really cool experience to be a part of.
Okay. Well, again, okay, cool. I mean, I see we got some people that are watching. This is super cool. Where do you want to start?
I think, where should we start, Justin?
Okay. If I was going to start with anything, I'd like to talk about creativity as a big picture, right?
Right.
Because the neat thing is that this was open for every kid across the entire state of Texas. So what you have is kids that are in kindergarten and you have kids that are in high school all submitting their creations.
Right, and it's been really cool to see all of these amazing things that students are putting together.
Right, exactly. And so what's interesting is that you can't really look at a submission from a high school student and a submission from a kid who's like 8 years old and really just say, well, which one's more creative?
Right.
Or which one looks better? So what we begin to do is we actually begin to break these apart by looking at the components of creativity.
Right, and that's been a really cool experience, especially we're going to look at some of these creations too.
Yeah, exactly. So one way that we break it apart is we break it apart using fluency. Let's show it to them. Okay. So again, as you guys have had a chance to make submissions, we've had a chance to take a look at them. They've been incredible. And so what we look at is, man, how fluent are you? How flexible are you? Let's kick off with fluency.
Let's get started.
Let's do it. Okay. So Linus Pauling, he's a researcher, he's a scientist, and he said, man, the best way to get good ideas is to have lots of ideas and then throw the bad ones away. Now, it's kind of interesting to think, you're like, man, what could I do with this piece of cardboard? It could be this, and it could be this, and it could be this, and it could be this. And so you keep blowing up and you keep throwing things out there. And then once you're done, you stand back and begin to kind of pick and choose.
Right, and it's really just getting them out there and not having that thing in your head, like that might not be perfect, that might not be great, just getting them all out there regardless of how they might turn out and just having them all together. That bad idea might turn into your best idea later as you work on it more.
So I love that. So don't sit there and think to yourself, oh, this won't work. Just let it go. Let it flow. And it's almost like your brain's a faucet, right? And you're turning it on.
Right, and just letting it all out of there.
Exactly. So you know what? There are actually some games that you can play that help you get better at fluency. Let's do one.
Let's do one.
Okay. All right. So we're going to try to go live with this one. This is fun. So what's a good fluency game we can play?
I think there's this fun game called Scategories. I think you're going to think of one category of things. I'm going to think of another.
Okay.
We're going to think of as many things as we can that fit both of them.
So this is kind of a cool game that you could play. Like, I've heard of Categories, but you don't have to have like the whole board. You can play this anywhere. You can play it with your family. You can play like on a road trip, right?
Right, of
stuck
course.
stuck inside. All right, so I'm gonna use rubber chicken. This is my rubber chicken, right, as an example. So, Dorian, I want you to name as many things as you can think of that are orange,
Okay.
okay, and bumpy.
The first one I'm going to think of is a speed bump. It is pretty bumpy, and they're usually bright colors to make sure that people know where they're coming up.
That's cool. And I like how you didn't just say like an orange speed bump, right?
Right,
The way that you said it is I knew that a speed bump could be orange. That's really awesome.
right.
Okay. I'm thinking maybe this is too simple, but an actual orange.
In orange, it's pretty bumpy,
Yeah, right. I could just say like the actual fruit itself. What else?
While we're still thinking of fruits, I'm going to think of a grapefruit.
Okay. It's orangey. I like it. Basketball.
Ooh, basketball's a good one.
Nice one.
Ooh, let me think.
And in case you're just tuning in, guys, we're playing the game of categories to help fluency. We knew we were going to play some games, but we did not prep each other on what kind of games. This is fun. This is like in the moment, live.
I'm going to say a practice golf ball. The practice balls are really bright, so you can see it flying, and they're
Okay.
pretty bumpy.
All right, you know what? Maybe this doesn't count, so you tell me. So what if I say like an orange wiffle ball?
I think it does count. They're usually orange.
Okay.
Of course, there's always the green ones, but
Okay.
I think that's okay that you could say orange because that's the color they come in normally.
You see what's happening? So for example, if I were to say something like orange sandpaper, you might say like, you're just putting the adjective orange on it.
Right.
All right, here, give me a different category. Let's play.
I want you to think of things that are red and tall.
Red and tall. And once again, if you guys are on the chat, put it in there. We want to see what you guys are thinking too. Ow! Hey, Katie. We see that Katie's saying hello. This is awesome.
Hello.
All right, you said red and tall.
Red and tall.
And so, for example, I'm just going to give a non-example. If I said a red building, why would that not work?
Well, buildings aren't normally red unless they're a brick building, right? So if you think of a brick building, then you can have a red building.
Okay, so I'm going to go with fire truck.
Fire truck, that's a good one. I'm going to say Clifford the Big Red Dog.
So it doesn't have to actually be like a thing, like it could be imaginative. I like it. Red and tall?
Red and tall.
Red and tall. Oh man, why am I stuck? This is a good one. So I'm just going to keep vomiting some ideas out there and see if anything sticks. How about the wavy things from the Justin Timberlake video?
Oh, the wacky wavy inflatable tube man?
Yeah, the wacky wavy inflatable tube man, right?
Those are usually red and they have like yellow hair.
Okay,
I like
cool.
those a lot.
Okay, cool.
What about a lighthouse? They've got the red spiral going up. I guess it's not all the way red.
Yeah, I'll count it.
It's got
I'll
red
count
on it.
I like it. You can put red on it. This is awesome. Katie has jumped in there with maybe even a book.
It could be a tall tale.
Nice. If you couldn't tell, we like puns around here too. So this is the idea of like fluency. Now, okay, we're also going to take the games category. That's one way that you can practice it and have some fun with it. Let's go to the next level. Let's give them like a challenge that they could actually do. What do you say?
I think it sounds like a lot of fun.
All right. So once again, we planned some stuff out, but we're going to try to do this live and in the moment. So if you have ideas, keep putting them in the chat. This is great. We're talking about creativity, and we're talking about, we don't just say this is creative or this is not creative. That's not fair. There's a way to look at objects and say, man, this artist really used a lot of ideas. They were very fluent. And that's the way that we looked at all of the different things from the ABC. So a neat little way to look at this, and like a game that we play with this, is we actually have to take a look at objects and how could they have different purposes, right?
Right.
All right, let's look at some submissions. Let's see.
Let's see.
So you guys had a lot of really, really cool submissions. We tried to get them all into the presentation, but we may not have time for all of them. But let's see some. So they had the Any Beautiful Creation. Now, what was that one about?
Any beautiful creation is, of course, any beautiful thing that you can think of.
Okay.
It's not just making something that doesn't exist. It could be something new or an entirely new invention. It could be remaking something that you know and love out of the material cardboard.
Okay.
You have to get a lot of creativity and flexibility with how you use things in order to create it out of something like an old box that used to hold your shoes.
Cool. So it could be absolutely anything, and it was not judged. This was the one that people could just submit just for fun.
Right.
Okay. And then the School of the Future, now this is the one that we'll get to later, because this is the one that was judged, right?
Right.
Okay, so let's look at some Any Beautiful Creations, some ABCs. Let's see what we got. Okay, cool. Yeah, this is a collection of ones from the past. And so we just want to let you know, man, we've been doing cardboard challenges for, gosh, I don't know, 8, 9 years, right?
It's been a while.
Inspired by Kane, which we'll talk about here in just a little bit. Now some of these are from the internet, right? Like you'll see the Google glasses up there kind of idea. But some of them are actually from our builds. That one there on the top left, that's actually a skee ball that was built at one of our competitions. And then on the right there, those are two brothers that built some jetpacks out of some materials that they had found. Isn't that cool?
Right, and it's a lot of fun watching kids take these supplies that we have, especially if we were in person, right? They only have limited things that are in that room. And they're like, what can this become? And each person went a different direction. Somebody saw a jetpack, somebody else saw a skee ball machine, somebody else might have seen a wonderful set of armor. All of it is just looking at this material and just having ideas pop in your head in all different directions.
So this is cool for us because when we do these, like you said, Dorian, they walk in, they see all this cardboard. The people that submitted from home, we don't know what they were looking at. They could have had cardboard, they could have had recyclables. Let's look. Okay. Okay, this is the gaming cube, and it comes from Gabriel Schoderloff. Gabriel, if you're watching, make sure you put it into the chat. This is kind of cool, Dorian, because not only did he make a cube that he could go inside of and have it be his personal space, but at the same time, he made it where he could go game. Now, there we go. I see Anika has joined us. Hey, Anika, we're going to share off some of your stuff here in just a little bit too. This is cool. So not only did he make this for a spot where he could go game and take it easy.
Right.
He didn't just grab the Xbox and put it inside there. Do you see what he did?
He made his own little machine there. And you can even see some of the materials that he used. A lot of this is made out of cereal boxes, which I assume he must love cereal. I love cereal too. So all these leftover boxes are what he had, and he turned it into it. He wasn't limited by, well, this isn't the right color of cardboard. He was creative, and he made do with what he had.
Yeah. And it's a great example. He's holding a little controller there on the top. So give it up for Gabriel real fast. Awesome job, man.
Let's take a look at our next submission.
Okay. All right. Okay. So this one comes from Arian Gopinath, and man, when I showed this one, or I saw this one, I was like, man, what in the world was it? And then when I showed it to you, Dorian, you had a really cool insight. You're like, I wonder what letters he's making. So talk this one out. What are you looking at?
And this is a machine. It has little triangle wheels on it that when you spin them, it has different letters on them. And you can make different combinations. The really cool thing is if he has the letters A and maybe an E on the other side, he can make the word bot, bat, or bet. Or even if he has a C, now he's got cat, or maybe he's got cot. Maybe he's got a G for cog, like a gear.
Oh, yeah,
all of these different words can change and make all these different things, and it's a really cool way to do it. Looking at it, it's made almost all of Amazon boxes. It might even be just one box that turned into this new creation.
Oh, good call. You saw the little details in there. And I think you even said, too, it almost reminds you of a combination lock.
Yeah, like those bike locks that spin and they have the letters on them.
Yep.
And he made a really awesome cardboard rendition of one.
It could even be like a little security thing, like you have to spell out the right word.
And it could be the way to get in.
Jeez, love it. Okay. Man, so Arian, a huge thank you. Oh, I see Ben has jumped in. He says, love that gaming cube. Thanks, Ben. Yeah, keep those comments coming. If you're able to access the YouTube chat, please drop some comments in there below. Okay, give us another submission, Dorian. What do we got?
Let's see what's next.
This is from Adam Bray. Adam Bray's out of Keller ISD. And this is the Kitty Hotel. Now, if you take a look at the one here on the left, like you see the pillows there.
Right.
And I saw the box and I was like, the first picture I saw, I was like, oh, okay. But then check out the middle, right? It looked kind of close, but you can actually see he's got the soft blanket laid out there.
Right. And the cool thing about this is it's functional. His cat actually climbed in it and used it, which if you've ever had a cat, you know that's a feat in itself, getting them to use something that's made for them.
Yes, you go to the store and you buy the thing for the cat and the cat's like, meh. No, there's actually his cat, Dustin, checking it out and enjoying the actual kitty hotel. So big kudos to Adam.
And I like how you can even see what this is made out of. It's got a pumpkin seed box and also a Tide detergent box that have been turned into this wonderful new creation that gets a use, and I'm sure the cat's very happy to have it.
I wonder if it's still there. You remember, when I was a kid, I would build things and create them, and my mom would be like, "Okay, we got to move that." I'm like, "No, it's the kitty hotel."
Right.
So, man, if you're watching right now, Adam, let us know if it's still sitting there in your home, and let us know if Dustin, your cat, is still enjoying it. So, too cool. And, man, we actually have another submission from Adam as well. So he made two, and this one is the pinball machine. And my only question here is I couldn't tell. You can see it has the flappers on top, right? And he's actually made it where it has the pencil sticking out to the side.
Right.
I was like, man, Dorian, I wonder if the thing actually works.
I think it does, because if you look, it's slanted, right? So if he has a
Okay.
marble on it, just like a real pinball machine, it's going to roll down to the bottom. So I'm sure he could play his own version of pinball with it, especially if you're able to flip the pencils.
Oh my gosh, and look who just showed in the chat. I'm sorry to cut you off there, but look, we just have a hello from actually Aaron himself. Or I'm sorry. Isn't that awesome?
We just looked at your creation. We really enjoyed it. Thank you for sharing it with us. We love that.
Yeah, absolutely. This is so cool to watch this stuff. You know what, though, before we go on, you were laughing at me for putting the Tale of the Pinball Wizard. It's an old musical, so if anyone out there knows it, just give me a love in the chat. But I was like, man, Adam, you're a pinball wizard. So thank you. So, okay, we are talking again about creativity and bringing it back to this idea of like, well, how do you look at something and value its creativity? And one way is to talk about, that fluency. How many ideas can you get?
Right.
And so, again, we don't know what everybody had at their home, but you could tell they had cardboard, or they had tape. And from that, they were able to be fluent and create all these different things.
Right, and that's the amazing part is we didn't limit them on what they could make. We just said make any beautiful creation, and they came in every single direction. We didn't see 100 tiny hedgehogs. We saw a whole bunch of different incredible creations.
Why is everybody submitting hedgehogs? So thank you guys so much for being creative. Now I can say that, right? Thank you guys for being creative and being so fluent with the items that you have. Okay, man, so another way that we look at creativity is through flexibility. Now, we put some funny pictures up there, right? Look at the grandma like getting a good stretch. And we're not so much talking about flexibility as far as our muscles go.
Right.
Well, I guess sort of. We're talking about flexibility as far as the brain. So if you don't mind, talk about flexibility just a little bit. What do we mean when we say flexibility?
And as Justin said, flexibility isn't just touching your toes, but it's also stretching your mind into new different directions. You might see something that's always been one way for as long as you can remember, but taking something that you already know what it does and turning it into something new can be a really good exercise to stretch your brain and get it growing in new directions. You might see a stop sign, but in the winter, you might take that stop sign and turn it into a sled. Of course, make sure it's your own stop sign. Don't steal stop signs. But
Right.
you can see this object that's just a big metal sign and turn it into all sorts of things.
Man, and this is really cool, Dorian, because we have a game that you can kind of play with this one as well, and we're going to challenge each other live, right?
Right.
So real fast, let's take a look at some objects that we can do that we can be flexible with. What do you say?
Gotcha. Of course. I brought one for Justin, and I think Justin brought one for me.
I did. Okay.
So let's try these out.
So again, right before we started, we were like, okay, grab an item because we want to keep it random.
Right.
And I want to reinforce this is a game that you can totally play at home. This is a game that you can play at home if you're at home with your siblings or your parents, or even if you're stuck in a car. And all you have to do is grab a random item. So you want me to go first? You want to?
Let's see your item first.
Okay. So I brought this. It's kind of totally random. Okay. It's like you think it would be like a really cool tubey thingy, but it's actually half.
Okay,
Split
interesting.
down the middle. All right. So, do you want me to tell you what this is?
I think before I know what it is, I'm going to try and come up with some ideas of what it could be.
All right, you're up. Go for it.
I think this could be a cool hideout for a pet. Maybe you have a smaller pet like a rabbit or a hamster. They like to hide under things, so you could set this down. You have a wonderful habitat for your pet. You could fill it with bedding, all that kinds of stuff, and then you have a pet habitat.
Okay, so I'm going to take it back, and the way this game works is I'm going to say, man, this is not a bedding for a pet, and I have to give it a new use, right?
Right.
And this is me being very, very flexible. Okay, so I'm going to say this is a top hat for a two-dimensional Abraham Lincoln. So, because if you're a full-blown 3D Abraham Lincoln, that's great. But then if you want to turn sideways, you can, fit through doors.
Just like Mickey Mouse's ears.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's like ginormous top hat. Actually, let me see that in the camera. There we go. Yeah, okay, love it. I pass it back to you.
And I don't think this is an Abraham Lincoln top hat. I think it's some sort of weird hand drum.
Okay. So once again, I see the chat is lighting up. This is awesome. So by all means, if you have an idea for what this could be, put it in there. We'll share it out. Okay, so I don't think this is a hand drum. I think this is an airplane hangar for incredibly small airplanes to land.
Like your toy airplanes, or even paper airplanes. You
That's
could try and
true.
land them in the hangar.
Oh, see if you actually get them inside the hangar. Yes, there you go. One more. What do you got?
I think instead of being a airplane hangar, this is a paper basketball hoop that can lay flat on a door. So you have like a big door, and you need somewhere to put your basketball hoop. You can stick it on the door. You don't have to worry about a big rim being in the way.
Smart.
And you can bounce it off the door as the backboard and land it in this hoop.
That's actually like, you could sell that. That's like a rubber chicken squeak. Okay, so once again, we're passing back and forth. I love this idea. And I noticed this too, is like when you first get started, the ideas are kind of slow, right? Like,
Right.
And then just like we talked about earlier, you start getting more fluid and your brain starts to get more flexible and picking out new ideas, new objects. So, man, some cool games that you can play and have fun with. Dorian, you have an object too?
I do have an object.
All right, hook us up.
Now, I'm not going to describe what this object is, but I'm going to say some things about it that we do know.
Okay.
In the middle, it's actually soft. It's a little bit fuzzy, like felt. On the bottom, it actually spins. So if you were to place it down, you can spin it in place. And it's got a spinner on it. And it also has a little bit of a lip to it. So it's got a little bit of a ledge. So Justin, what would you use this for?
Okay. So this part here on the bottom spins. And like I said, if you guys have ideas too, put it in the chat.
He says a wall trash can. That is an awesome idea.
Yep. Nice job, Arian. Arian says a wall trash can. You know what? Okay, so if I was, let's say that you and I were at a restaurant table for two.
Okay.
I might like want to share my meal with you. So, well, I can just, let's say I have a food here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you want some of this?
I do want some of that.
Spin it, and then you get some food.
Oh, why, thank you very much. Now here's your
Excuse
food
me,
back.
could you spin that back to me?
I can spin that back
I'm a little peckish over here. Thank you. Delicious. All right, you're up.
Now, I'm going to think of it in a different idea.
Okay.
I love to play with hex bugs a lot. They're a really fun toy, but they always run and then get out of stuff.
Okay.
I think if I put my hex bugs in here, they're not going to jump over the ledge by themselves, but the ledge is a little bit small, so they might push each other over the edge. So I can have a hex bug sumo arena out of this little spinning thing right here.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So this is actually kind of a neat way to play with flexibility as well. Like, what if it was a different size?
Right.
Right. Like, so what if it's ginormous? I would attach this to the top of a tower, for example, and then you'd have like an observation deck. Sorry, chicken. And you could go to the top of the tower and like look out and see the observation deck, and it would spin. That's what I would do. This is a ginormous observation deck. If I could blow it up to like 1,000 times the size it is right now.
That's a cool idea. I wish I could go to that.
Yeah, right?
I think another cool thing this could be is if you have some Velcro, right? Velcro likes to stick to felt. You can have it be like a dartboard. You can have your little Velcro darts, you throw them, and they're going to stick on your board.
And as you throw the darts, I'll actually spin it and try. Ready?
It could be like those carnival acts where there's a person on the wheel and you got to make sure you don't hit them.
Nice. Oh, we got some in the chat here too. I got a couple. Katie says it could be a frisbee.
Or a zoetrope. Very cool idea.
Very cool. So frisbee, let's try that one first. It works. And it's got some spin to it. And a zoetrope. So if you're not familiar with the zoetrope, go check them out. This is the one where I would put the slits all around the outside. Mm-hmm. And you could actually put a cartoon in the middle. And as it spun, it was kind of like one of the original animations. You can actually watch an object move by watching this one slit.
And it's a really cool thing to do. And that's an awesome idea. Thank you for sharing that. That was really cool.
Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, cool. Man, good game. Thank you.
This was a lot of fun. And to reveal what this was, this is actually a board game spinner. So if you're playing a game like Scrabble and you want to make sure you can read the letters, you place it on top and you spin it around so everybody gets a fair chance to see the board game. You don't have to pick yourself up and walk around the table or maybe spill it as you spin it. That's what this is for.
And mine actually is part of a trash can. So you have a round trash can, you put this on one half, and then the other half is like blue or green, and you can have recycling on the other side. So you've taken one trash can and made it have two purposes.
Right, and
I still like the Abraham Lincoln hat.
and that's the fun part of this game is it could be anything. It could be an object that we all kind of know what it is, or an object that nobody knows what it is, and we can take it and turn it into something new and incredible.
Okay, man, so once again, we're talking about fluency, we're talking about flexibility. Let's give them another game too, right?
Sure.
We have a game, we have like a bunch of them, but we have a game that actually has you think about an object and paper, but you have to be kind of fluent and flexible with it. Let's do the wearable object.
The wearable object.
The wearable, okay. This is one that Dorian taught to me and I absolutely love it, and it's different every single time.
Okay, so how this game works is we're going to have a bit of cardboard with us. We have some behind us. You might have some different things with you. But the idea of this game is to take cardboard, recyclables, or anything in between and turn it into something you can wear. It could be something as easy as a bracelet, something as cool as a shoe, something as protective as a helmet, or something as shiny as a brand new piece of armor. But we need to make something that goes and attaches to our body and does something. It can just make us look really cool. It can make us look really tall. We can make whatever we would like. So I actually have some cardboard here, and I think we're gonna try our best to build something live right in front of you. Are you ready?
Yeah, they can join in too, right? So for example, like NuMinds, you can find us on Facebook. You can put your pictures there. We'll have a chance to share them. But yeah, right now, if you want to, go ahead and grab some supplies. You want maybe some cardboard. I'm gonna grab.
We have some cardboard here, just some very simple square pieces.
Got some scissors.
I also have my own scissors.
You know what? I always enjoy like something to write with or write. Got some markers here. If you have a pencil, that's fine too.
And I brought some tape. I brought some masking tape and some clear tape. I know a lot of people use duct tape, but we don't have that right now, and that's okay. You don't have to have the same things we do. Just try the best with what you have and be flexible and fluent with your ideas.
That's really cool. Yeah, because you might say, I don't have that perfect thing. So I don't know if we'll use these, but I brought them just in case. They're always kind of fun.
Right?
I just had them laying around, so I brought some pipe cleaners, and also, man, I've got some rubber bands. Don't know if you'll need and or want that. So once again, let's give them a second to find any kind of supplies. You and I can go ahead and get started.
Let's get started.
We're going to create something that you can wear. Okay.
I'm going to give you 2 of these.
All right.
I think where I'm going to start is this sheet isn't very big, and I'm pretty sure if I fold it, it's going to get pretty crinkly. So I'm going to see if I can find something that I can put my hand through. So I'm going to kind of measure my hand. I'm going to trace it a little bit and see if I can make a hole for my hand to make some sort of cool bracelet.
Okay, so what I'm thinking is I want to be able to wear it in some way. Maybe like on my head or face, like a face mask. But what I'm going to need is I'm going to need some kind of a hinge. Something that can hinge around my head. So, and what are you doing? You're tracing out your hand? Or your
First,
hand
I'm going to
fit
make a
through?
bracelet. I'm not sure what my bracelet's going to be, but I think a bracelet is something that's pretty flexible. I can make it a watch. I can make it a teleporter. I can make it a language transmitter. But I'm going to try and turn it into something fun and creative.
Any ideas how I could trace my head?
Maybe you can put the Sharpie by your ear and just mark where your 2 ears are.
There we go.
And then-
Okay.
'cause that's the widest part of your head, and you can go from there.
So that will tell me how wide my head is. Which may be actually some information I don't want to know. Okay, hold on. There we go. All right, something that you can wear.
I'm thinking about my bracelet, and I think I want to make something that can translate languages. I know that I don't know very many languages yet. I know a little bit of French and a little bit of Spanish, and I know some sign language. But I want to be able to translate any language. So I'm going to make a bracelet that can translate for me. I'm going to need some colors. I'm going to need some lights. And I think that's how I'm going to make my translator.
Man, that's cool. And if you guys speak another language, let us know too. Are you learning another language? Are you learning it in school? Do you speak 2 languages at home? So I like the way that you did that hack, where what'd you do, poke through with one side of your scissors? How'd you get through the cardboard?
I did. I poked through with one side. I poked a hole, and then I used that to help me cut.
Okay.
Now I have a circle out of the middle without cutting a line at the side.
Okay.
And it fits on my arm pretty well. I think I'm going to make some adjustments and make it fit.
That looks nice.
I'm going to slim it down a little bit. And I think it might be cool if I can attach a microphone to it from there, and then it can go to my mouth so it can translate what I'm saying. Because there's not a lot of inventions that go on your shoulder. Most of them go on your wrist or your head or your neck. I'm going to make one that goes on my shoulder. Why not?
This is cool too. So as I'm actually working, I keep getting more ideas. Like for example, I know I want this to go in my head, and now I'm making the holes for my eyes to go through.
Right.
But man, listening to you got me inspired. So let me ask you a question. Am I stealing your ideas if I say I want to give it like a cool function or a purpose?
No, of course not. Sometimes you get inspired by things in the real world, and sometimes you get inspired by a friend that's sitting next to you. But either way, you can take those ideas and turn them into your own version of it. You never just want to make the same thing twice, because then we have the same thing. But you can always make your own changes and additions to make it yours.
So I'm trying to make mine into glasses that I can put on that remind me how to look at things like from flexibility and fluency.
So creativity goggles.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, right? So if I'm sitting there like, oh man, I don't know what to do with this thing, I'll put on my goggles and ipso facto, I will have some powers.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Good looking bracelet.
So I'm gonna attach this. I'm gonna put a microphone on it, and I think we'll have some style with this. We want our invention to not only make us look languages, but look pretty cool.
That's true.
So I'm gonna put a microphone on mine. I'm gonna attach this pipe cleaner here, and I'm gonna have it going. Somebody says like a Google Watch. Yeah, Google Watches do have some translating functions.
There you go.
A little bit like that, yeah. But this one doesn't need Wi-Fi, so I think it's gonna be just a little bit better.
And mine just uses brain power, so no worries there. Okay.
The cool thing is that when we started, we didn't have perfect ideas. I didn't know what I was making. I just decided to start working, and as you go on, sometimes the ideas just come to you as you work. I knew I wanted it to go on my wrist, and now it's on my shoulder. Now I've changed it and given it a purpose. Never let not having a perfect idea stop you from trying to make something.
Yeah, like you get started, right? And from when
Right.
you get started. I like too, whenever you get done, just kind of reminding yourself, like, how much time did you have? So if you get done, it's not exactly what you were imagining. What would it look like if you gave yourself more time?
Exactly, and it's even, you created something from nothing, and that's always something to be proud of.
That is really cool. So what was once a cardboard box before, now becomes, are you calling it an armlet or a bracelet?
I'm calling it a bracelet, but I think armlet might be a better term for
And I
it.
just made that up, actually. Is armlet a thing?
It's an armlet now.
Is it? Okay, cool. I like it.
Sometimes you gotta break a few eggs to make an armlet.
That's what I always say.
So I have my armlet on now. I'm gonna start working on my microphone. I do have this circle piece that's left over, and I might think of an interesting use for it. Maybe I make some sort of translator here, or something that goes on, this here, that I can connect to with a little wire. I'm gonna use these as my wires. Remember, it doesn't have to use real wires. I can use my imagination too.
So as long as you're wearing your armlet, it will help you translate it. How do you turn it on?
I haven't got that far yet. I didn't even think of a good idea.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. And now, wait. Does it have a speaker too? Or like, as I talk to you in a different language, will it translate it for you? Like,
Yeah, so that's what this part is. This goes to my ear,
Okay.
so I can hear it, and then I'm gonna have a microphone, so it goes in here, translates it, speaks out, and then it's gonna go into my ear so I can hear.
so I'm gonna see like in 5 years, and they're actually gonna have that. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's so cool. Does anybody out there do like Duolingo or other language apps to help them learn? What would you do if you had like a translator that you could put on your ear? What could you do with that power?
I know, because being able to understand everybody, that would be a really cool thing.
That would be a really cool thing. Do you think people would get along more, like across the whole world, if everyone could understand each other?
I think they would, and the cool thing about being in the world of the internet is you can spread ideas all over, right? Like right now, we're talking to people who are all across the state. But maybe you can find all sorts of new people across the world who they may be showing to a worldwide audience, but you just can't understand them. So maybe I can find even more YouTube videos now.
That's true.
Now I have a whole set of languages to find new videos in.
Oh, that's a great way to think about it.
I might find the perfect tutorial on how to bake bread, but it might be in Russian, so I've just never been able to find it.
And now you will be able to bake the perfect Russian bread.
And it will be a wonderful experience.
So again, if you're just joining us or just checking out the video later, we're here part of the live cardboard streaming challenge. The chat is live. We were able to monitor it. You guys are putting some great comments, so thank you so much. Oh, Katie even says that she does Duolingo, so thank you, Katie.
What language are you practicing on there?
Yeah, tell us. And so what we've been talking about so far is we've been trying to give you games that you can play and activities that you can do to really help flex your creativity. And then here in just a second, we're going to actually share some more of your submissions and talk about how you guys were so flexible and so fluent with the things that you were working with. We got some really cool submissions all across the state of Texas. So awesome. And Dorian, I think I said this earlier a little bit, but what was so cool is this was supposed to take place right when we got the ice storm.
Right.
Yeah, so in the middle of this ice storm, there were kids that were actually able to work with like cardboard and recyclable materials. That's awesome. That's awesome. Still have a really good time, even though it was in the middle of a disaster. I just think it's so cool that the power of creativity can come through. Yeah, are you done? I'm almost done. I probably.
Yeah, I'm finishing mine up. But I was about to say, even in situations like that where you don't have much that you could use, maybe you're stuck inside, maybe something along those lines where you just don't have much at that moment, you can get creative to help find solutions to that moment. I know during that time we used a lot of candles, but we didn't have ways to stand them up. So I was building Lego candle holders to hold up these candles, protect them, and keep them safe and stick them to the wall. You can get really, really inspired and creative by being flexible.
You really did that? You were creating Lego candle holders?
Yeah, we needed to hold them, and we didn't want to put them on wood tables, so we made little candle holders to catch all the wax and make sure nothing fell apart.
I know your whole family's like a bunch of Lego like aficionados, right? You guys.
Right.
If you haven't seen like Dorian makes like stop motion Lego movies, super creative dude. Okay, yeah, I think I feel pretty good about that.
I think it looks pretty good.
Thanks, man.
You look like some sort of king of your own nation.
I am the king of creativity. Wah! No, and I want to put these on so that I can help think about and remind myself, man, I'm not just looking for is it a perfect idea or not. I'm able to take a look and say, man, are you being flexible? Are you being fluent? These are actually pretty darn comfortable too.
They do look pretty comfy.
Yeah, I know, right?
And sometimes your idea isn't always perfect with the things you have. Like I'm sure if Justin had some more time, he might take a plastic bottle or a sheet of film, and he might put some cool lenses or colored things on it. He might add some jewels on the front to get more creative. Sometimes you can have an idea and maybe just substitute it for now and change it out later. You can always take time, work with them, and continue to improve things that you make.
Man, should I just leave this on? This is pretty great.
I think you can. I have no problem with it.
All right, you go ahead and put your bracelet on, and I'll speak to you in different languages. Hola.
Hola.
I love it. Like I said, if you guys have been making things at home, this is totally awesome. Continue to submit them. You can put them, you have our email address at hello@numind.com as part of the challenge. We would love to see what you have, and we'll have a chance to share this video and also the creations we'll be sharing on our Facebook page. So go check it out. We're NuMinds Enrichment. Okay, I think I might take this off because it's a little bit distracting.
It is a little bit distracting, but while you're working on taking those off, I think we take a look at a few more of our submissions.
Yes, please.
Sound like a plan?
Oh, they're beautiful, yes.
So this one here is from Kimberly Sanchez. We have this amazing Abraham Lincoln, almost like our trash can hat earlier, but this one is a much cooler Abraham Lincoln. Sorry, Justin, this one is just incredibly impressive. This is from Laredo, Texas, and we have this creation here. Do you want to tell us a little more about it?
Well, yeah, and actually what's really interesting is this is a student I mentioned earlier that's a high school student.
Right.
And so you're going to see a lot of elaboration. And that's one thing that we'll continue to talk about here a little bit more as the presentation goes on. But as we look at creative things, you said, oh my gosh, this is better than the one that I had, right?
Right.
And that's totally fine. What made it better? What made it better is that Kimberly took the time to add all those details in there. Mm-hmm. Isn't that incredible? That is Abraham Lincoln. So if you love that, oh yeah, yep, Katie in the chat says, wow, holy smokes, exactly. So that is from Kimberly Sanchez. Now, I put next to this, the next slide, I put an 8-year-old. So isn't this cool? So you can see, like, I can imagine Max, when he's 17, creating something that has that elaboration and detail. But now look at this. I'm not going to compare those two things and say one's better than the other. I'm able to look at Max's creation, and I can see all of the way that he was flexible with the cardboard that he was using, the way that he took that, just what he had, and turned it into what you see. What do you see?
And he still did elaborate on his idea, right? He has his person, he has their bike, he's got his dog. They all have names, and everything is there all together.
Yep, and so he gave this one the title, Casey and his bike, Flash. So the bike's name is Flash.
Yes.
Right? And his dog, Fido. So I want to give it up for Kimberly and for Max for their awesome submissions. Woo! Thank you guys so much. Okay, all right. So this is the one that we even have a video that was submitted that goes along with this one. And this is an anonymous submission, but it's from the elementary O'Shea Keller. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Out of El Paso. And you can see super happy. You can see the robot there. During that bottom right-hand picture is
Left foot, 2 stumps. Slide to the left. Slide to the right. Crisscross. Crisscross. Cha-cha real smooth.
Yeah, so as you can see, we had him slide into the left, slide into the right. He even took the time to edit this and make it into a full video, so they put a lot of effort into their submission, and that's incredible.
And I love the way that you said that Max, in his submission of the previous one, was elaborating those details. Because same
Right.
thing here, you can see details being added into it.
And I like how they didn't just stick with cardboard, they changed the color of it by adding another material. They added in foil, they added in glow sticks instead of electronics to make it glow. They even have their own gloves, and they have these, I think it's air conditioning tubes or washing machine tubes for their arms.
Yeah, the dryer vent ones, exactly. Oh man, and look, even Arian says the bot is so cool and funny. Yeah, exactly, man, awesome. And like I said, we're going to share all these on our Facebook page. You can also check them out. But yeah, huge thank you to the submission here. Okay, I think we got another one. Let's see.
Right foot, 2 stumps.
Oh, I don't mind watching it again. Slide to the left. Okay, now I saw that Anika was on here earlier. And Anika is part of the chat. Like, let us know if you're there. Chime in. This is from Basswood Elementary, and Anika has made just this house. And you know what, Dorian? Let's see if we can do this. We keep talking about fluency as a way to think about, creativity, right?
Right.
We talk about flexibility, and then we talk a little bit now about elaboration. Do me a favor. Let's talk through Anika's on each of those and see what we see. And guys in the chat, if you see things as well, let us know. Let's start with fluency. So tell me what fluency is again.
Fluency is coming up with as many ideas as you can and then not sorting them out, just getting them all out there.
Okay. So again, I wasn't here when Anika made it, but she submitted this, and I can kind of guess that she had some material. She had the cardboard box, and she started playing with it. Maybe thought to herself, this could be, it could be anything, right?
Right.
And then said, okay, I'm going to make this into a house of some sort. And I'm guessing over time this house turned into a castle. And then she saw, I'm going to put some lights onto it. How else do you see fluency happening here?
I think there's a lot of fluency in the way that it's decorated. Each part has some special decorations. You see the left side kind of has a star and has these yellow stars around it. The middle one has the hearts and has these red hearts around it. And then the right one has this cool shape that has the green around it. So they have 3 different styles of decoration. We have the wonderful rainbow door, of course, and all of that kind of keeps adding more and more different creative ideas to fully decorate this castle.
And so I'm just going to touch on flexibility real fast because she was able to look at this one cardboard box and just think of it as in different ways, including even turning it into a door, like you said.
Right.
And then elaboration, she really went and added all those, like the hearts and the stars and the lights on top, and the rainbow, and even like out of those curtains.
Yeah, those look like curtains to me. I didn't even notice the lights until you said that. That's an amazing thing they put on top.
Isn't that cool?
They
like
even work too.
Yeah, like a little LED strand or something. I don't know, just awesome. Okay, super cool. Oh, okay. So we had Kitty Hotel last time,
Right?
and this time we have Dog Bed, and this is from 2 sisters. This is Sophia, who's in 3rd grade, and Maria, who's in 6th grade, and this is the dog bed. And you can take a look there. They started with just the cardboard frame, and then from the frame they were able to add on the blanket, and then boom, even added in the puppy there.
And to talk about some creativity, I think that blanket, it's actually like a bathroom mat, like the thing you step on out of the shower. I think that's what they use for it, and that's a really creative solution for that.
That's so cool. What a great way of being flexible, right?
Right, and they made proper support, they made it nice and soft, and that dog
Yeah.
looks very happy to be there.
Man, I was gonna say you could probably sell those. It's so funny. I was actually just talking to my wife the other day. Like, we need to buy a dog bed, right? Man, I wonder if they sell it. I wonder if they sell it with the puppy. No, I'm just kidding. That's their puppy. Don't sell
We
your
can't
puppy.
have their puppy, as wonderful as it does look.
Look how cute that puppy is. So happy. Love it. Okay. Oh yes, a tilt maze. Okay, so this one they actually put into the submission explaining what that bottom right picture is. So see that bottom right picture that has looks like a little center underneath it? So Dorian, you've made these before. It's a tilt maze.
Right.
So what's that little thing doing on the bottom?
It lets you push down on one side or the other, and it lets you tilt the box just slightly so the marble is going to roll. The cool thing they did is theirs is mounted on the table, so you can play it as like an arcade type game. You can kind of work your way through and get from one side to the other. But we've had some people at Cardboard Challenges do kind of similar ideas, but each one was a little bit different. They all elaborated it differently. We had one year in the Cardboard Challenge where somebody took a shoebox and they put a similar kind of maze in it. They put a hole on one side and one on the other side. They had a little sheet on top where you can write your time. And you had to tilt the box and get the marble all the way through without seeing it. This one looks a lot more fair because you can't see what's going on in there, but it is always a lot of fun to play these games.
On the one that had the closed lid, did it have an actual whole maze inside?
Yeah, it had a whole maze. They let you open it and look at it first and then close it, and you had to memorize the maze and make your way through.
So Tayana, thank you so much for submitting this, and even an extra idea for an added layer of challenge is put a cover on top. How smart, I love it. Okay, all right, so you know what? Let's jump back to us real fast, because I want to take them to kind of like where our inspiration came from, and then of course have a chance to share the winner for the Cardboard Challenge. So our time together is almost done today. We've had a chance to share with you some games, everything from the category game that you can play to help a lot with that fluency. That idea of the found objects help you get really kind of fluent, like what else? I'm sorry, but flexible with what you're dealing with. We've seen a lot of elaboration and details, and so what we're going to do is we're going to have a chance to check out our inspiration. So I want to be perfectly clear on this. 8 years ago was the first time that I ever saw this video. And the first thing that I did, like, it just floored me, Dorian. Like, there's a kid who didn't have access to a lot of materials.
Right.
But he's almost just, well, in the video you'll see, he's like a creative genius.
It's really incredible. Every time I watch it, I'm like, oh, I love this kid so much.
Right, exactly. So this is the inspiration where we got started 8 years ago. And like I said, every year we have a chance to do a cardboard challenge. And before we watch the video, I'll say this again now, and I'll say it again later. We're just so grateful for the Gifted Education Family Network. Through their sponsorship, we were able to bring this cardboard challenge and do this through YouTube and share this out to all the kids across this whole state of Texas. In the middle of a pandemic, in the middle of the bad weather. So let's watch Kane's Arcade, and as you do, be looking for examples of where he is flexible and fluent and where he puts some details into it and really elaborates.
My name's Kane, and I'm 9 years old. My arcade is called Kane's Arcade. It's open on weekends only, and it's really cheap.
Kane does not pass by an arcade without stopping in. He loves tickets, playing games. He loves prizes. So it was only natural for him to build his own arcade. He loves to see how things are built. He takes all his toys apart to see how they work. He can't put them back together, but he takes them apart. Kane spent summer vacation coming to work with me. We sell auto parts in East LA.
My dad has a lot of boxes back there to ship parts out, so I cut them up and make my arcade games out of it. My first game I made, the basketball hoop I got at Shakey's Pizza, and it's really cool.
He taped it onto a box, and he was offering people chances to play for like a nickel. He started from that little game, and little by little, they started getting fancier and fancier, and eventually he took over the whole store.
I met Kane randomly. I had to get a door handle for my 96 Corolla, so I pulled into this used auto parts store, and I just came across this elaborate cardboard arcade. I asked him how much it was to play. He's like, for $1 you get 4 turns, but for $2 you get a fun pass. Like, well, how many turns do you get a fun pass? You get 500 turns for a fun pass. I got a fun pass.
I made this fun pass that expires in 1 month, and you get 500 plays on any of these games. It's a great deal. Then I started making my office. It has like a speaker on the other side I can talk through. I got tokens, my business card, fun passes, and prizes. The first prizes, I used my own toys, like the cars were my own toys. I used to like Hot Wheels when I was little.
I worked from the back office, and it kept him out of my hair all summer. He would work on the arcade, I'd work on eBay.
My next game I built was a soccer game. First of all, it didn't have no goalies. People said it was too easy, so I bought army goalies, and those are my blockers. I thought, is it easy now? It's pretty hard, so you get 2 tickets if you make it in here. I'll give it a 4-star. Hard game, challenging game. 4 stars.
One day, Kane tells me, Dad, I want to buy a claw machine. I said, why don't you just build it? So he got an S-hook, put a piece of yarn on it, and then put a little track on top of the box. And I said, what the heck? He figured out how to make a claw machine with a string and a hook.
And here's some sunglasses. These are the glasses I like the most. Star sunglasses.
He bought calculators to put on every arcade game. And I go, what's that for?
The calculator's right here for security to see if it's a real fun pass or not. On the back, the fun pass has security number. So when you go here, you turn it on, you put the pin number in it, and you push a check mark button, and the big number comes out. That's how you know it's a real fun pass.
My dad started the business in 1955. We have used auto parts. Most of our business has gone online because we really don't get to walk up traffic like we used to. So Kane's chance of getting one customer is pretty hard. Kane's always waiting in front, sitting on his little chair, and trying to convince people to play, but not too much luck.
Kane's Arcade grand opening.
But he never gets discouraged. He's always sweeping up and dusting off the games, waiting for customers. He only wears his shirt on Saturdays and Sundays when he comes to open up his arcade. And he's really proud of his shirt because he thought it up and he designed it. When Kane got back to school from vacation, he started telling everybody that he had an arcade. And nobody believed him. So he won't wear his shirt to school because he's afraid that kids might tease him about it. You know, he told them, hey, I got my own arcade. And they go, yeah, sure. Well, one day, my secretary comes running into the office. George, you never believe it. Somebody's playing Kane's Arcade. And I go, no way. So I was looking through the security camera, watching them.
And I'm playing like miniature soccer, miniature basketball. And then when you'd score a point, he would crawl into the box and he pulls out these little tickets out of the side of the cardboard.
Like real arcade games, tickets come from the bottom.
And I was like, this kid's a genius.
Nirvan came back one day when Kane wasn't here, and he told me, do you mind if I make a short film about Kane's Arcade? I said, well, actually, it's kind of like a little joke around here because you're his only customer.
I was blown away. Kane's only sold 1 Fun Pass. Like, the Fun Pass is an awesome deal.
So Nirvan said, well, what if I can get him a couple customers? And I said, that would make his day. If you can get him 1 customer, he'll be happy.
And at that point, we hatched a plan to invite everybody in LA to come play Kane's Arcade. The idea was to do a surprise flash mob at Kane's Arcade on Sunday afternoon.
And I'm thinking, who's gonna come down to a junkyard Sunday afternoon, East LA? Who's really gonna show up?
Then I made a little Facebook event, which a friend posted on Hidden LA, which has over 230,000 fans. And all of a sudden, it just started going viral.
Nirvan put it over the internet. And all of a sudden, within an hour, we had NBC News here.
Then I hit the front page of Reddit, which is like being on the front page of the internet.
I started reading the comments. I wish I could be there. I live in New York. I wish I could be there. I live in Europe. And I'm going, wow, it was getting big. The plan is, I'm gonna take Kane to Shakey's Pizza. We're gonna play some arcade games. We're gonna eat lunch while Nirvan sets up a big surprise party. Kane has no idea what we're doing. And when we get back, he's had the biggest surprise of his life.
And the idea is just to get as many people as we can to come out to Kane's Arcade and just make his day.
Kane's dying to have 1 customer show up to his arcade. So Kane is to be the most surprised little boy in the whole wide world.
Hey, we're ready. In about a minute, he's gonna arrive here.
Hey Kane, can we go home early today? We had no customers today.
No.
No? Come on. Your dad's tired.
No can do.
No can do. We're back, Kane.
Only pay for what you need with Liberty Mutual, and
From idea to business to building it too, we have a platform for all that you do. MailChimp.
Wow. What's going on over here? Huh? We finally got some customers here.
Okay. All right, everybody, this is Kane. Hi, Kane. Kane, this is everybody. All these people came here to play your arcade. Did you know they were coming?
No.
Are you ready to run your arcade?
Yeah.
All right, what'd you guys come here to do?
We came to play!
Go ahead, welcome to Kane's Arcade, man.
Well, the C could be for cardboard and the A could be for arcade. But the A could also be for auto parts, cause it's pop shops where it's made. And the I's gotta be for imagination, of which the kids got a lot. And the N ought to be for noggin, where the idea first got thought. But then the E,
Oh, yes, the E!
oh yes, the E.
Oh, yes, the E!
Well, the E's gotta be for everybody,
That's you and me!
cause everybody's who's invited to come on down and play. If you got the pluck to try your luck, come on down to Kane's Arcade. Oh, Kane's Arcade.
Kane's Arcade!
Oh, Kane's Arcade.
Kane's Arcade!
It's the best cardboard arcade ever been made.
Ever made!
Grab yourself a fun pass and y'all come on down and play. If you got the pluck to try your luck, get on down to Kane's Arcade.
I love it, man. So if that was your first time to ever see it, I hope it moved you. I hope it inspired you. Like I said, the first time that I ever saw that, it was actually my friend Ben. Him and I saw it for the first time, and we said, we have to do this. And so every year we've had a chance to do a cardboard challenge. And it's just been really, really, really cool because every year we do a cardboard challenge, and Dorian, we never see the same thing twice.
No, I don't think I've ever seen the same. It's always something brand new that I've never seen before. New scales, new versions, and it always blows my mind.
Exactly. And even Betty Davis wearing the new creativity glasses is like, boom. So tell us, Betty Davis, the dinosaur, did you see examples of fluency or flexibility or elaboration inside of Kane and what he was working on? I know it was awesome. She's not actually talking.
Yeah, but
you guys, if you're on the chat, let us know. As I watched the video, one example that I love is him with the S-hook, right?
right.
And a few things happened there. He really wanted a crane to be able to go down and pick up the things, like you see at the arcade, right?
Right.
And his dad's like, well, if you want one, go make one. Well, okay, so he had to get really, really flexible, right? Looking at it and saying, this is not just an S-hook for a car. This could be a hook. And then he had to really continue to elaborate on the idea by adding on some string and thinking about, okay, so now I'm going to actually pick it up and down. I don't know. It's just one of the coolest examples that I love from the video. What about you? What did you see?
I like how when he's talking about his goalie soccer game, he's like, well, the game is a little too easy, so I bought some army men and then I turned them into goalies. He elaborated and made it more. He went further on his idea. He kept it in the soccer theme and added more to it.
Okay. Like I said, if you've seen it before, I hope you caught something new. If you haven't seen it before, I hope you caught the bug and continue to create. You know what? It's kind of interesting, too. Like I keep mentioning, this was a few years ago this video came out. Kane's older now.
Right.
So that video did a couple things for him. First of all, they started a college fund for him to be able to go to college. And he ended up I think their goal was $24,000, and they ended up raising $250,000.
Right.
And he was able to use that money to help the Imagination Network put out these kind of challenges around the globe. But what's he up to now? I think you looked it up the other day.
He is going to school like normal. He's a normal kid. He's working on all his different things. And when he was 11, he actually retired from his arcade. So his arcade isn't there anymore.
Aw.
But the spirit of it is still alive today.
And you had mentioned how he still has a chance to go around and check out other creative challenges, right? He'll still show up and
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and visit them. So who knows? Maybe Kane will come visit something that you make. All right, man, we are out of time. Let's go to the winner of the cardboard challenge. Now, you keep hearing us say these words over and over and over again. When we think about something creative, we can't just look at it and say, oh, wow, that's really creative. We have to kind of break it down. And so we say, was this person really flexible with some ideas? Did they elaborate and add a lot of details? Now, with the judging category for the School of the Future, there was one that we added, and it was called problem solving. So we wanted to see not how many ideas you could get and be fluent, but we wanted to see how many ideas you could have to solve some problems. And so our winner did an amazing job, and so I want to make sure that we take a look. We're going to really dive in, take a peek at it, and then we'll let you guys go. So this is the School of the Future from Arian. Give it up for Arian. Woo! Arian, if you're on the chat with us, oh my gosh, it's amazing, dude. So, Dorian, I'm going to kind of walk us through a little bit by all means ask questions. This is the Rubrics Elementary School.
Yep.
Okay. Now, at first blush, you got a couple things here. You got a cafeteria, right? You got an area for recycling, even a security station. So pretty normal looking school so far. Some neat details, digging it. And then he submitted more photos as well. Check this out. You have the front office, and then look over here on the left-hand side. That is a vitamin D play area, like to get to go outside and get some vitamin D.
And that's a really cool way to solve that problem. I also love how under it there's a plant garden too. Not a lot of schools have gardens, but they do eat a lot of food. So it's very cool to be sustainable and be able to keep all that within your school.
Absolutely. And I said on the bottom right-hand corner here, you have an electric charging station. You got to have that. I mean, come on now.
It's the future. We got to keep things charged.
Now that does use power, right? So he'll get into that in just a little bit. But check out some other stuff. And here we actually get a shot of Arian. There we go. There we go, man. Entire quantum computing robot.
Which I think if schools had, they would be much better. Because if you've ever used a school computer, it does not work very well. You'll probably load a Google Chrome tab every 10 minutes. So I think we'll finally get some faster internet speeds and be able to know all the things we need to know right away.
So now, yeah, Arian is really solving some problems. Like a brand new computer, like quantum computing. And then over here, even on the playground in the top right-hand corner, it's not just a playground, it's actually a maze and a zip line. That's right, a maze and a zip line for the outside. Isn't that kind of cool?
And it's amazing.
Yes. And on the bottom, we have an auditorium. He even put his iPad in there to help elaborate and show some details there. So excellent work, Arian. And then I believe this is the last slide, but I really wanted to focus in on the power. So over here on the left-hand side, they have a wind turbine. And can you see what that little middle part is, Dorian?
This middle part, that is our carbon retainer. So it grabs the carbon from the atmosphere, holds onto it, and catches it, and it can even refine it and turn it back.
So going back to the rubric again, like we're just so proud and so grateful for your submission, Arian. Thank you so much. Not only did you have a lot of ideas, not only were you very original with your ideas, but man, you really looked forward into the future and thought, how can we be sustainable? How can we take care of our environment? How can we have electricity and use our devices? But how can we do it in a responsible way? So again, 100 times over, congratulations to Arian for winning the Gifted Education Foundation Network School of the Future. There he is standing next to it. Look at the size of that thing. Isn't that cool?
It's incredible what he did.
Yeah. All right. Well, guys, let's take it to our outro here. Once again, a huge big thank you to the Gifted Education Foundation Network. Their mission is to bring together families that are interested and are part of gifted education and really help spread this word of excellence and equity. And they do that in a few different ways. They do that by communicating with parents. So guys, now's a great time. If you're not part of the Gifted Education Family Network and their newsletters, please head to their website, please subscribe. And so that lets them communicate to you legislation, also programs. Right now, the Baylor University is putting on their parent program.
Right.
So it helps get information and it helps educate parents as well. All part of this, again, Gifted Education Family Network. You can check them out on their website. And they brought in us through a partnership to be able to deliver this to the kids across Texas. And so for NuMinds Enrichment, You can check us out on Facebook. We'll put this video, we'll put the pictures of the winners up there so you guys can see all these later. But on behalf of NuMinds Enrichment, my name is Justin.
We have a note from Ariane at the last second.
What was it say?
He says, thank you so much. I truly wish such a school would come into existence. And I think if you keep making those ideas, it will come into existence. We loved your school very much.
Please keep us posted on what you do, right, as you continue into your educational career, because you're going to make this happen, dude. And this has been so cool to watch. Okay, what was I saying? Justin.
Thank you, Dorian. Thank you guys very much, and we'll see you in the next one.
And Ruber Chicken, and Betty Davis.
And Nelson, and Minnie Nelson.
Yeah.
And
BB-8.
You can't really see him. He's a little hidden.
Oh, okay.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys. Have an amazing rest of your weekend.